Okay, so the next question is, which changes occur when a person walks from a very cold room into a hot room? So when a person is entering a hot room, the sweating is going to increase. We know that from our daily normal life. And what will happen, sorry, and what will happen to the blood vessels of the skin? They're going to dilate. Now, why do they dilate? They dilate so that they can dissipate all of the warmth and all of the energy within the body to the outside environment, so that the core body temperature can decrease, right? Because the environment that we are in and the surroundings are very hot. So to bring the body into an equilibrium, to cool down the body, this is what happens. So the answer would be the sweating would increase and the skin blood vessels would dilate. So the answer would be C. The diagram shows a section through the part of the skin. Which structure is the best insulator? Now, out of all of these three, we can see that the adipose tissue, the fat tissue, is present in the bottommost layer, and fat is the bestest of the best insulators that are present in the body. So the answer would ultimately be D. Okay, so the next question is, the graph shows the changes in the shape of the lens of a person's eyes while watching a bird fly. At what point is the bird flying most rapidly towards the person? So when we're talking about towards the person, this means that the bird is very nearer to the person. And when we have to focus on an object that is closer to us, we need to bend the light rays a lot more, right? So the bending power of the lens is the utmost when it is the most globular, right? So the most globular or the most curved the lens would be, the more it would have the ability to bend the light rays, right? So that it can form a clearer image on the retina. So the most curved, it is at the point of D. So at which point is the bird flying? Since the bird is flying, so from a far away point, it is going to come to a nearer point. So the answer would be C. It would not be D or B. Because B, obviously it is the, like the lens is less curved, but it is not going to be D. Why? Because at this point it is the most curved. It means that it is very nearer to the person, but we're talking about a bird that is in motion. We're not talking about a bird that is fixed sitting on a tree or something like that. So therefore the answer is going to be C. The diagram shows a nerve pathway in a reflex action when a person accidentally touches something hot. Which row correctly identifies the sensory relay neuron and the motor neuron? Now, number 1 is this one, but we're going to go backwards, since it is a reflex action and sensation is involved, right? So 3 would be, it is getting the warm sensations or hot sensations from the candle. So 3 would be the sensory neuron that is going to carry the sensation to the spinal cord. So 3 is going to be the sensory neuron, it is going to be the sensory neuron. So B and D are going to be cut out. 2 is going to be the relay neuron, because this is the smaller neuron that is present in the spinal cord only. So 2 is going to be the relay neuron. And the final one that is going to withdraw the hand, that is going to supply to the muscle, this is going to be the motor neuron, because it is carrying the motor impulses, the mechanical movement of our arm. So the answer is going to be A. A patient shows symptoms of unexplained weight loss, severe thirst, and frequent needs of urination. A test shows a high level of glucose in the urine. What condition is diagnosed? It is diabetes. It is a pretty straightforward answer. Cardiovascular disease is going to cause the patient pain in the chest and other associated symptoms. Anemia is going to cause shortness of breath. Obesity is going to cause unable to move or decreased energy and stuff like that. But all of these symptoms are very specific for diabetes. Okay, now the diagram shows the forelimb of a rabbit. Which labeled bone is the ulna? Now for this, I'd like to show you something. This is a human arm, and this is the ulna, and you can see that this portion and this ulna has the olecranon, right, which is like a hook that is allowing or accommodating the humerus of the upper arm. So this is a notch, or this is like a projection that is present, the oligocronone, this one, right? This is the oligocronone. Now if we go and see over here, now this is the ulna of a rabbit, and we have the oligocronone process over here as well, right there, the oligocronone process, right? So over here we're going to find the oligocronone process. This is the oligocronone process, which means that this is going to be the ulna. So the answer would be A. Which activity is most likely to cause the lung disease? It is obviously going to be smoking cigarettes. It is very straightforward. The table shows features of 3 types of microorganisms. The first which row identifies each type of microorganism. So the first microorganism, it does not have a cell wall, does not have a cell membrane, no nucleus and no cytoplasm. This can only be a virus. So the answer would be virus. So we're going to cut out A and B. The second is it has a cell wall, it has a cell membrane, it does not have a nucleus, however it has cytoplasm, right? So it cannot be, so the one that does not have a nucleus, it is most commonly going to be a bacteria, because the DNA of a bacteria is free-flowingly present in the cytoplasm. It is not encapsulated or stored within the nucleus, so it can be bacteria, right? Finally, we have the cell wall, we have the cell membrane, we have the nucleus, and we have the cytoplasm. This can only be the fungi. So the answer would be C. Next, 2 containers X and Y were filled with equal amounts of dough mixture for making bread. The mixture Y has yeast in it. The container were then left in a warm place for 2 hours. The diagram shows the appearance after this time. Which substance produced by the yeast causes the difference between the X and Y? Now, yeast is going to produce carbon dioxide, and that is why this causes the container Y to rise, right? So it cannot be alcohol that is going to make this very acidic, right? And the taste is going to change. That is not what we want in pizzas and in doughs that we make, right? It cannot be lactic acid, because lactic acid is going to be produced in the muscle cells. So here we're talking about yeast. Oxygen, it does not, when anaerobic respiration is occurring, oxygen is not produced, carbon dioxide is produced. So the answer would be carbon dioxide. Which type of microorganisms carry out decomposition in the nitrogen cycle? This is again a very straightforward answer. The answer is going to be bacteria and the fungus, because viruses, they do not cause the decomposition, right?